extra support here for Potluck. They're looking at Potluck. All right, you're in for Xmithie. Put on the bootstraps, like, go to town here because you are going to be one of the main carries for this team. They've got a solo lane Karma who's going to be buffing him up. So Potluck should be running the new and improved Phase Rush Graves for the extra speed and looking to be one of the big threats for Immortals, not just an, we brought him up from Academy because something went wrong with Xmithie and the team had a fallout. No, they're actually putting their game plan behind it.
Yeah, I mean, both of the newer players, both Altec and Potluck, will be enabled here in this game. So, a very curious draft on the Immortals side, but kind of excited to see how it goes out. For FlyQuest, I would say predictable, but that is one of the one of the things we've come to expect from FlyQuest. But they're also very consistent, which is why they're such a good team. So, we'll see how Immortals can fare here, but plenty of questions with Potluck being in the roster, and for how long it lasts, we'll never know, but at least we're going to get it for this game here. And the Graves, certainly a pick we don't get to see too often these days, so I'm excited to see how he can play it here.
Yeah, honestly, for Immortals, I mean, everyone's going to be favoring FlyQuest in this because FlyQuest coming in from the finals from last split, even though they had a loss to Cloud9, still looking decently strong for the early stages in it. And IMT with such controversial roster changes, I feel like they have so much to prove here, and there could be a big upside if they surprise people, if they start taking over. This is what you like to see for newer players. Your chance at stardom, your chance at making a big splash as soon as you get into the LCS.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how the gameplay shakes out. So it's with a bit of early poke onto solo with the empowered Q. The players otherwise are just spreading out across the rift. No fancy level 1, at least this time around.
Yep, sOAZ is going to be looking to keep solo at range, farm up on the Karma. You build some supportive items so that you can then join the rest of your team when you look for your big wombo. And of course, it's kind of telegraphed, but I always, like pointing out the Nautilus plus Galio, easy, hard engage synergy there. And Kaisa is one of the best carries at following up on that type of stuff. So while Immortals are putting some faith in some of the new players, their composition is pretty straightforward to execute here. And it's going to be about, can they bring it together in the LCS when the pressure is on?
Yep, we'll certainly have to see. Is Santorin going to go ahead and start the red buff here with a little bit of help from solo? It is the same side for Potluck here, so they'll be jungling poke towards the bottom side of the map. Also curious to see how Galio does here. Of course, PoE did get to counter pick it, and he's very good on these high DPS, more control mages. Cassio's certainly fitting in that style. But, the Galio build these days is very AP heavy, which we've kind of come to expect since the last round of changes a little while ago. But if Galio gets big enough, it doesn't really matter who you're charging in. As long as Galio is getting into the backline and getting a good taunt off, he can wreak havoc in the backline in any sort of engage.
Yeah, and I kind of like some of the new things people are trying to do with all the different sources of speed. Since you can't do the taunt flashes, you can try and use Nimbus Cloak for Summoner Spell extra speed, and he's got Summoner Spellbook, so he's going to be cycling through those. You can pick up Ghosts with your Summoner Spellbook and those types of things to get other ways that aren't the classic channeling taunt and flashing in for snap engages, but just kind of run it up fast. Looking for it that way.
Just get involved. That's kind of all Galio needs to do is bottom lane here. Altec and Gate, also the new additions-ish to IMT. We'll see how they do against the Ezreal and Rakan. This is not the, the Yuumi Ezreal we've come to, I don't want to say enjoy, we've come to experience around the world.
We've become very well acquainted with.
Yes. Perhaps too well acquainted.
Yeah, and it is going to be... Ezreal is sitting a little bit further back here. Like I mentioned in Champ Select, it's the Halo Blades Kaisa, and I have really enjoyed seeing this. The more aggressive look with your bursty first 3 auto attacks, plus the buff that they gave to Kaisa for the AD, means that she can have a lot more powerful trades early on than people were expecting. And since you still combo her with crowd control supports to be able to apply the plasma, you just Hail of Blades, instantly stack up plasma. You get these big bursty passive procs, especially if Gates can land some CC. He's looking for it.
If he is able to land it here. Not going to be poking in just yet. IgNar, though, at least getting his poke returning back and forth.
Gets shot twice. Ah, that push has denied me well. Can't get the dodges. WildTurtle and IgNar getting the very small victories of skill shots landing in the fly push.
Yeah, and of course, both junglers just kind of completed their clears of the jungle. They've both got a crab. Now going to go back and spend some of that gold. The early red smites on either side. So no one really butting heads just yet, but plenty of time, of course, for that to happen here. Still early on into this one. Oh, actually, no. IgNar not quite able to get an angle there, but again, at least keeping the lane honest, right? Have to try and get some trades in. Don't just want Kaisa to cycle Hail Blades on you every single time it's back up.
Yeah, he lowered his head. He charged in ahead, but no one there to meet it, so no clash. Nice attempt, though. Santorin going to hover around the mid lane after trading top and bottom scuttles here. PowerOfEvil with the early tier back here on Casio. Going to feel so nice. Charging that one up, stacking it very quickly into this game. Still has full 3 health potions as well. So going according to plan.
Making it maybe too obvious, but sOAZ with a flash taunt in. Tethers Solo up, but the flash is out, and Solo should be okay with the W. Even gets the chuckle in at the end as well. So they get some cooldowns, but just flashes traded there in top lane.
Yep, and it's going to be a fast plus a teleport, I would assume, from sOAZ to get back up there. Meanwhile, the cost of that is very big for Immortals. They do get technically +1 summoner spell by forcing that teleport I mentioned, but Santorin's already hovering bottom side, instantly goes for the dragon. Their duo even with the reset there, IgNar heads up, so FlyQuest super happy with that opening trade.
Ooh, Eika, I think reading does just punch out of the way. But IgNar with a nice roam as Eika throws up the B.
Yep, no harm, no foul though. Nobody really spending any cooldowns.
So what about the same play again?
If at first.
Yeah, he's going in. He's going to try and make it happen. Oh, misses the W. Going to get himself taunted. It's 2 actually. His Potluck is charging in there. The exhaust is good for IgNar and Eika now getting the damage turned around. But here comes Gate. PoE wants to finish it off. Flash ulties in but can't get the damage done. Galio back in he goes but doesn't grab the knockup. But still a double near sight there from the smoke screen. Potluck maybe can clean house here. Gate is going to grab it. It's first blood over to the Kindred. But Gate does get PowerOfEvil on the back end. As now here comes Solo as sOAZ is also roamed up. Going to get himself locked in by Sett. There's the ulti. Are going to try and finish off the low health Galio. W doesn't quite connect, but the last punch is good. As Solo going to walk out of there, or maybe not. sOAZ going to keep chasing, gets the root. Potluck back in there. They've just made it work. Immortals able to grab a couple kills here, and maybe IgNar on the way out, but the blast cone does keep him safe.
Nice, exciting little scrap there. sOAZ not done. Can he get the snipe?
Got the senses on. Ooh, no, already going away. Ooh, snuck out. IgNar. Very sneaky.
Little game of hide and seek. Yeah, it's you just wrap around the corner because the corners on the terrain's gonna block the fog of war, and since he's in bush, he sees the seeker coming and can just walk around the edge. But let's take a look at how it all started, because everybody walking up, and then we have the teleport start the channel. This was Immortals with the initial plan of, hey, let's counter gank this, but then the flash is traded as PowerOfEvil threatened the kill onto Galio. Ulti back in there for Eika. They were unsure if they could finish off PowerOfEvil. The gate flashing forward. Santorin actually got the auto off first and got the first blood extra money cash in. So in the end, it's a 2-for-2 as Solo did commit the ultimate to killing off Eika, and then gets kind of trapped in there as sOAZ with the solo lane Karma is able to lock him up for another kill for Potluck. So in the end, with the 2-for-2 trade, slightly more gold going to FlyQuest with the first kill being acquired by Santorin, but him stacking up a mark as well, pretty decent.
Yep, certainly some advantages there for FlyQuest, but fairly even, as we're not even 10 minutes through this game and already 4 kills have appeared seemingly out of nowhere. Top lane attention is going to be put back on here by Potluck, continuing to hang out with sOAZ here. Solo, no flash, does have his ulti, but Santorin right behind him. Just going to make sure he's feeling protected. Potluck, though, does have his ultimate up now at level 6, so going to be quite a bit more potent in these gank/fights that could break out.
And there's a huge difference between fully completed warrior and just those little pieces you see on the side for Santorin. So even with the kill and the first blood extra bonus, you get a huge power spike on fully completing that jungle item, and Potluck immediately trying to use it with the phase rush Graves up onto the top side, but we'll see if they're actually able to get anything out of the second Galio ultimate, with Eika actually having a roam opportunity opening up pretty quickly with that one. He has been able to cut the waves.
Yep. Potluck back down on his red. Going to go ahead and collect that again. With these kind of junglers, you do mostly want to focus on getting that farm, and both of these players have been just fine in making sure they stay active on the map while still cycling through their camps. Santorin also level 6, so has his ultimate to bring to bear, but Potluck still keeping up in XP. So certainly knows his way around the graves, but not really amounting to too much just yet. 45 seconds till that next Drake is up. See if FlyQuest can continue that snowball.
And honestly, I think it should be a high priority for Immortals to continue to attack PowerOfEvil. Eika's going to have to run his way out.
Good knockup there again. Nicely started there by PoE. Eika is going to go down to the Casio. And now the stun in the front side of the ulti is out from PoE. That's going to be a second kill over as the double kill is snagged.
Yeah, FlyQuest not going to let him have an opening on PowerOfEvil. They recognize the movement here, and it's going to be a Rift Herald afterwards as IgNar spotting Potluck here. He's just marking the champion, so keeping vision of him, allowing Santorin the confidence to finish that off, because they know they've got nothing left towards the mid lane as Eika's still respawning. He teleports out now with 2.5k or so health left on it.
Zooming in there, though, gets the taunt onto PowerOfEvil, who's got no flash. He's going to have to run away here. The last few punches will trigger, and that's the shutdown there for the Galio.
Yep. Meanwhile, they do finish off the Rift Herald on the top side. The Revenge of Eika there, though, Spellbook comes in nice and handy. They're able to teleport over there with the extra move speed. That's what we were just mentioning in the early stages of the game for Galio, being able to get those taunts off. And does punish PowerOfEvil, get the kill on him before the flash comes back, like they were looking for, and allows them to go 1-for-1 in objectives instead of just giving up the Rift Herald for free.
Altec does mark Turtle there, but it's not going to press on. It's looking for Eika, but it's a little too far away with the rank 1 ulti to maybe make something happen. And of course, Ezreal is so tricky to pin down. That does split the Drakes though, so the Infernal goes to Immortals, which means Mountain Soul is the soul of this game.
Yep, and with the double tier stacking on FlyQuest, they want both WildTurtle and PowerOfEvil to continue spamming their spells, be able to stack those up to get those transformations for their next big power spikes. So meanwhile, a little bit more farming there as Santorin's trying to get some river vision as well.
Yep, in general, I think looking at these comps, this game doesn't need to go at super fast for either side. FlyQuest certainly with the double tier, as you mentioned, happy to scale it up. But we already talked about how, there is an enchanter here for Potluck and Altec. Eika here more to enable these team fights, but of course will build up damage as well. Certainly I think the mid game is where more of this will be decided, especially if one side can start stacking up the Drakes a bit faster. So we are maybe in for a slight lull, but teams have been pretty active about at least marking enemy champions and taking camps away.
Yeah, it's so interesting too, because we saw FlyQuest yesterday, and they tried to match the aggression of Cloud9, and that is knowing your opponents and knowing that you cannot back down and give up free plays for Cloud9. But now versus this Immortals roster, with all the changes, they're definitely a bit more relaxed in their game plan, it feels like, and a bit more relaxed in their play. Not feeling as forced and a little bit more at home.
Yep, again, just playing comfort here. Turtle does get the wave pushing in towards Altec. Potluck is building up a decent little lead in CS there in the jungle, as sOAZ and Solo continue to do battle back and forth, but it's really mostly been the jungler coming up there every now and then that's been the bigger problem. IgNar, though, back on the roam. Look at the gate here with Potluck behind him, but level 9 Graves coming in hot. Smoke screen's down, Nautilus ulti is going to grab IgNar, but he dashes away to safety. Relative safety as the Galio ult's going to charge in. Santorin looking to try and finish off gate, but Eika will defend his teammates as IgNar once again going to tag Potluck, but not going to look for the re-engage.
Yeah, nice little invade there from FlyQuest. They get the Galio ultimate down, and they're actually cutting off the reinforcements from Immortals, allowing a Rift Herald spawn for Santorin, cashing in on some turret plates.
Yeah, we also going to tag Eika there. Power does not get finished off though, and it's Solo in sOAZ, perhaps, as never mind. sOAZ just pokes up here and runs away.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to solo kill Karma as Sett. Even if he did have like phase rush for better chase down, Solo's actually running the fleet footwork, and you just got a little bit of the burst speed on the first one. He's making use of the extra healing that you get with there. But man, yeah, sOAZ does a decent amount with that champion. Karma's so good at just baiting you into thinking that you have decent kill pressure, utilizing the root as well as the shield really effectively here.
Yeah, I feel like Karma versus melees is always like a, you know, keep them on the leash.
Frustrate them.
Yeah, never exactly. Beat them with impatience. This Gate, Potluck, and Altec in a little 3v2, excuse me, here in the bottom lane. But again, these are two pretty tricky champions to try and pin down. Turtle playing appropriately back, I think maybe sensing that something is on the horizon, even just in the 2v2. And with a minute 10 up until that next Drake, it will be the first of these Mountain Drakes. IMT at least trying to get some vision in this area as PowerOfEvil is going to walk away from the incoming roam.
Yeah, he's doing a good job hovering away because they know there's so much extra presence here for Immortals through the Dragon Pit, clearing out all their wards. And on that spawn, PowerOfEvil will be the richest player in the entire game with the Cassiopeia because look at his farm. He's been actually farming up the storm, and he just did transform his Seraphs. So in addition to the most gold in the game, has the power spike for his item transformation, and might be well equipped to actually give FlyQuest the start on this dragon that's about to spawn.
Does have 2k to spend right now, but we'll see if they do have time to go back, because it doesn't look like it based on this timer. Also, Tower's getting assaulted here as IMT have just basically poured everyone into this bottom lane with the exception of Solo, who still has his teleport ready. So first tower goal does go over to Altec's Kaisa. Santorin's trying to pick something off here in mid lane as FlyQuest do want this, but sOAZ flashes in. Gonna try and take down the Kindred, but the latch does not complete. Miasma there from PowerOfEvil to zone them away as the rest of IMT, they just want one kill, Kobe. Is that too much to ask?
Apparently it is.
Ooh!
sOAZ trying to get another root. Phase Rush allows Cassiopeia to just walk out the extra range there.
Your favorite keystone, Kobe.
Yep. They're still looking, but...
good hook. Nope, never mind. Again, every champion is just so hard to pin down as IgNar is able to dash away to safety. FlyQuest really keeping IMT at bay, delaying this Drake here. Kiwi again still hasn't shot, but Solo's now able to walk down after going back to base. He's finished the Blade of the Ruin King, and it just feels like a little too much post-spin exchange that FlyQuest will actually be the first to start this Mountain Drake.
Yeah, you could tell Immortals really wanted that pick. Big Karma plays, trying to flash in and lock him down. But if you're not able to get the pick before the dragon, then yeah, FlyQuest, good job slipping in to pick that one up for themselves and add it to the Cloud Dragon. Potluck doesn't let it go unanswered though, even though they do have to recall, even though they lost a decent amount of those cooldowns in their attempts at picking off a FlyQuest member. They still can get something for their troubles with the second Rift Rail here, which does admittedly have less value with no turret plates for you to cash in on, but still gives you a good addition to pushing. Good chunk onto one of those turrets to try and open up the map for yourselves and try and open up some area to make use of the Galio ultimates and the long distance that you can actually cover.
Yeah, the map's starting to break open a little more now. After that first tower in bot lane went to Altec. It's actually two now being taken by FlyQuest in both of the side lanes. sOAZ is continuing to frustrate Solo here. You know, he's getting some work done, but again, Sett with passive, and the Blade of the Ruin King is probably going to be fine. Santorin, then maybe it's got Eika as IgNar dashes back out to his jungler. And PowerOfEvil again, you know, we talked about how much gold he hadn't spent before that Drake fight. He's now spent it. He's been very close to almost a full Leandry's, excuse me, being completed with the Haunting Guys and the Blasting one.
You almost make the cardinal sin there. Using Leandry's
very different items.
Honestly though, yeah, the bonuses of it on Cassiopeia are really big because Cassiopeia can make great use of her range and can apply it to so many people, apply that extra burn. See if Solo actually gets this one. Oh,
he's close. I think he's got a few more punches. sOAZ though is still healing up. Again,
block,
flashing forward, last punch. That's it. Solo able to take him down.
And the cheers go up around the world for all the melee players
he's out.
Getting frustrated. Is that the most classic sOAZ or what? Ever since ever since the Fnatic days, it's like, oh my goodness, sOAZ, how does he get away from all these things? But it's actually Solo who gets the kill onto sOAZ and then pulls a sOAZ against his team in escaping with the teleport from the bush.
Taunt incoming, no, Eika can't find the angle. Turtle and IgNar, though, do a lot of damage to the outer tower, but Solo's starting to show that, I have this presence in the sideline. sOAZ cannot just recklessly harass me and look to get away with it again. Although we'll see when round, 3-4 comes up in, I'm sure, a few moments. But now it is these teams trying to knock down the mid-outer tower.
Don't push me, bro. sOAZ pushed him to the edge, and Solo finally was able to make it happen with some help from the minions. Liked how he was able to use the slow to, get sOAZ into a position where he can actually pin him with the minions, get the stun, then finishes it off with his flash advantage there. In the end, though, as much as we're like, oh yeah, some action, boom, boom, we got a kill. It's not going to move the needle that much on the actual game plan here. Still going to be par for the course here for both teams. Still trying to focus on the original. But transformations have started to come in for FlyQuest, and they are starting to make it count in map territory. Both of the side outer turrets are down, and mid turret is looking flimsy.
Yeah, certainly doesn't seem like it's too many more total empowered autos from going down, as IMT have to clear all the vision that FlyQuest were putting in their blue side of the jungle. So we got Drake spawning in a minute 25. Who would be the first for FlyQuest if they can grab it? As we're back here again. Now sOAZ is playing a little bit more more back.
And the sad thing about it for Immortals and for sOAZ is that this isn't actually the commitment to support karma or anything. That's the Luden's karma, which is committing a bit more to the burst damage, to the poke, and isn't going to provide as much team utility when you're like, oh yeah, but at least it's the karma that will provide Hardened Sensor and the shields buffs and stuff there. The shields do scale with the AP, and there's some there, but not going to be as helpful as the other build. IgNar on the Rakan, one of his favorite things here, trying to get deep vision, trying to attack the enemy wards, knowing he's got the extra mobility and safety there. But Eika does a good job of actually forcing him off those control wards, not allowing them to clear them just yet.
Altec also TP'd into mid lane, and the Herald has been channeled as well, so kind of syncing all up with this potential Drake take as IgNar getting low. Potluck with the ulti, but will miss just barely. IgNar juking right there to avoid the incoming damage. Herald, though, is going to charge in, and FlyQuest feeling a little bit damaged for this potential dragon fight up in 10 seconds. So IMT will be first to get vision of this area. The Soul is trying to re-clear, gets hooked though, and now PowerOfEvil going to have to come in and save his teammate, but the Miasma is down. The dunk is there from the Sett, and Gate low does get slammed by PoE, and now they're back in it again. What a great ult there from the Casio as PowerOfEvil grabs the double kill, and now Altec going to be moving in. The ult there from Eika, but not enough there as they're continuing to go here. I think they can get them all. WildTurtle dives in, gets one. Potluck is down. Altec low on the backlines as Eika is running away from the Casio, but cannot escape. And now WildTurtle, one more left to go, going to be chasing down Altec. See you later. There's the double kill, and that's the ace for FlyQuest.
Oh, we had a bit of a Bud Light spoiler right there. There it is. Bud Light ace does go in for FlyQuest. You're right. They can get them all. Pastry solo face checks and FlyQuest clean them up. After that, that's PowerOfEvil flashing on the Cassiopeia. That's going to mean it's going to be an easy rotation up to the Baron. Teleports come out for, some possible poke. Maybe there's a miracle Q steal from sOAZ. He can work his way behind the Baron. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to get put down here. sOAZ is going to look for the angle, but it does not exist, and Baron does indeed go over. FlyQuest, who have launched themselves up to, 7,000 gold ahead? See how they do with the Red Bull Baron power play. sOAZ at least gets a trade back here. He's going to be able to finish up this mid-outer tower.
All right, let's take another look at that Bud Light ace. Started, as you mentioned, with Solo walking around on the Sett. Loves to be initiated on. He knows he's got the confidence of PowerOfEvil, who's this fed Casio behind him, who just acquired the blue buff as well. So he takes the fight, the miasma down, and Solo's able to ult Gate back into the rest of his team and hits the Haymaker even with Gate flashing to find the first kill. allowing them to flash forward. And then once you get those offensive flashes from the carries of FlyQuest, they can chase him down. Eika actually getting himself into a bad spot there in the tribe rush. And the rest of Immortals kind of getting baited to stick around instead of running straight back for the hills for their fountain. WildTurtle and IgNar finish up the chase as he was able to arcane shift right over the wall and finish him off. So FlyQuest just wrap up so much there. That is so many objectives with the Baron plus the Dragon on the back of an entire ace that you just have this giant cliff now for Immortals.
Yeah, and IMT, they're going to try and get sneaky here, but they do get warded out, so that's 4 people spotted in that brush, and of course they can see sOAZ in the top side, so everyone accounted for here as they've still got a minute 30 to push with this buff. IgNar, never unafraid to look for an engage, is going to have a look at Potluck here, but not going to get too aggressive, just again keeping track of champions, marking them, as you mentioned earlier, as Santorin and PowerOfEvil do finish off this bottom lane tier 2 pretty easily.
Yeah, they've got Baron for another 2 extra minion waves here, and they've got all 3 waves pushing, so making very good efficient use of the Baron buff. Solo now under attack.
Yep, gets out there with help of Altec, has to flash out of the way and does do so, so he's out of there. With the rest of the team able to continue the siege. IgNar maybe fancying a dive here alongside WildTurtle, but I think more than anything just doing, you know, the IgNar thing, which is to posture aggressively and threaten the engage. It can't be a good engage player, Kobe, if you're not at least making sure you're staying in range.
Yeah, and some sleight of hand too. If you get in range, you start your demolished procs ticking while threatening those engages, you know, looking like, oh, I'm looking for an engage. And then he casually can get his demolished proc off to help out a little bit with the turret taking. It's some of those little small things do end up mattering. Maybe not so big in this game because FlyQuest is so far ahead, you know, with the Baron taken, laying waste to the Immortals structure.
Still important though. Kind of amazing how much work that one little rune does. But certainly the players that are most efficient with it are, of course, the most successful. Potluck getting harassed over the wall now by this Kindred as FlyQuest taking kind of everything at this point. They've busted open the bottom lane inhibitor. It's now exposed and under attack. Looks like Turtle's also going to go back, but he's got TP if he wants to rejoin the party, which unsurprisingly he does. Solo going to smash down that turret in mid. IgNar finishes off the inhib in the bottom lane, and IMT kind of have to pick their chance to fight here, but they're not going to like it whenever they do choose. IgNar taking some bullets here from Potluck, but FlyQuest, you know, not taking the bait, not going too aggressive, just cleaning up the 2 inhibs, go spend your absolute mountain of gold you've just accrued off that Baron power play, and then, you know, take 1 or 2 more steps and the game should be yours.
Yeah, like we were talking about, a bit of a contrast here with this game. So much more relaxing for FlyQuest than some of the stuff that went on yesterday with Cloud9. So much action, so much pressure being taken to them. And the new Immortals roster are in a very difficult scenario. So far down in gold and face checking.
Yeah, face checking Turtle and Solo and IgNar. It's the triple. The absolute triad there of FlyQuest just looking to really overtake this fight. But IMT here, they've outnumbered them. Solo maybe a little bit too far forward. Pops the W for the bit of extra shield, but he is going to fall. But PowerOfEvil, can he play cleanup in time? Gate is low. Pops the Seraph there for PoE as Turtle's able to take down Altec. And somehow the rest of FlyQuest walk away with that. Oh no, Eika going to maybe say no to that potential play. Low there as the grab is good, but Santorin with an absolutely massive ultimate to save the Casio. And PowerOfEvil is still alive. It's absolute mayhem in the backline. The Santorin is diving sOAZ. IgNar low, but not out. PoE finally fell as Eika finds the double as the Proto Belt is going to get him the second as Turtle cleans him up on the other side. And sOAZ, the only member of Immortals currently left alive, and it's not looking too hot for him either.
Yeah, that is a bit of a scrappy one. WildTurtle's not going to let him get away.
Yep.
The classic flash over the wall.
Another
into the
Turtle
base.
ace finisher. Oh, not yet. He's been delayed. Missed his stop. Ulti, yeah, not going to get it. So it's like, all right, not this time, Turtle.
Another successful karma bait. Honestly, though, that was FlyQuest. If you go back and look, it's a 3v5. They even take the 3v5. They're like, all right, they're face checking us. We can do this. The teleport coming in from Immortals means that Immortals have full 5 members with reinforcements there for almost 15 seconds of a 3v5 fight with those 3 members of FlyQuest that start that play. Then once PowerOfEvil gets there and the rest of the FlyQuest members join, they can actually clean up those kills. But that was definitely messy because of the disadvantage that FlyQuest actually started that off with. maybe not fully keeping track of the teleport, expecting all 5 members there, or maybe a bit of hubris.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly started it with the right players. You know, you talked about how PowerOfEvil and IgNar are kind of this fantastic duo on FlyQuest. It feels like Solo's kind of the missing piece, you know, the one extra bit of engage, the one, you know, bit of consistency and confidence maybe that the team needed. That I feel like whenever something happens with FlyQuest, it's like IgNar setting up with Solo behind him, and then PoE just slam dunks the ball into the net and, you know, takes over with whatever farm control mid he happens to have. Like, as far as, you know, the Trinity Force of FlyQuest goes, 3 very powerful players that have looked extremely well coordinated, and that, of course, isn't to speak about how good Santorin's been and how consistent Turtle has been recently as well. So FlyQuest will grab the Baron, they'll barrel up that gold lead to well over 10k, and again, with 2 inhibitors down, with Baron up for the full 3 minutes, it's going to be quite the storm for IMT to weather.
Yep, Baron number 2 here for FlyQuest should mean the end of the base. Coming through with only 1 lane left to siege. All right, hard mode now. Play from Immortals side. What can they get done? Teleport comes back from Altec. Maybe they can, you know, open up some sort of sneaky taunt over the wall or something. Turtle gets a little
It's certainly tough to get this Galio in, and I think that's what IMT have kind of struggled to do with this pick in particular. They don't have a, you know, an obvious way unless Altec wants to charge in there, which is probably not the best candidate for enabling your Galio in at least a straight up 5v5. And of course, like, the gold lead's going to make it tricky anyway, but certainly if there is an angle IMT can find, they'll need to find it soon.
I say Gates just got to YOLO it. He ult and hook on in there on Nautilus, and then get the Galio ult, and you know, hope you get that kill.
I've definitely done worse plans than solo queue, so I'm kind of down. Gate, though, under attack, unfortunately for him. Does pop the stone plate, gets the ulti down, but bunch of solo there as FlyQuest just walking all over what is soon to be the ruins of Immortals' base. Next turret on the right looking awfully unhealthy, and Santorin agrees. We'll go ahead and smack that down with a little bit of extra help. Now just 1 to defend here as Gate goes in, but Solo always looking to make a big one here. Gonna pull 2 back into each other. IgNar's in the back line, is always making it happen, and FlyQuest are gonna absolutely just go off in this team fight here. Eika getting low, he's gonna be aced once again as the Nexus is finished off, and FlyQuest will end their week with a win.
And on brand there, a bunch of hearts with well played. The FlyQuest members going up at the end. Definitely good winners there.
I like it. And again, you know, a more relaxing, you know, early to mid game, let's say. But I think FlyQuest still demonstrating that one of the reasons they're so good is that as a unit, they are extremely cohesive and extremely good at just confidently starting fights. Like, yes, their game against CDAM was very different and was always going to be challenging. But I think in their best moments, they do look similarly strong. Not as strong as Cloud9, because no one does right now, but they have moments of like, wow, this is just such a good team fighting team.
Yeah, I do like also that their focus remains kind of around PowerOfEvil, and his consistency in being such a big carry for them. When you see him on Cassiopeia, you're like, I too feel a little bit relaxed, and you know, I have confidence for them as they're, you know, he's able to scale up, stack up his tier, and once him and Turtle both get their transformations, able to take some of those fights. All
right, we're stepping away, but after the break, we've got an interview with a victorious jungler here from Santorin after this.